All right, we'll get rolling. Um, Credit Maryland. You know, they beat us in the stat sheet in almost every statistical category you look at, and obviously they beat us on the scoreboard. And it's a pretty simple game. They block better than us. You can look at rushing yards. Um, you know, our back goes for 77, not due to any ability, just we didn't do a good enough job creating space. Um, they tackled better, considerably better than we did. Um, I thought in the first quarter we really struggled. Poor angles on pursuit. Um, we didn't do a good job fundamentally getting our hat across or getting our body come to balance. And the biggest statistic in football that tells whether you win or lose is turnovers. And we had 4 that went directly for 10 points, and they had 0. And if you don't turn the ball over, you usually win. It's not overly complicated. I'm sure y'all are gonna have really good questions, and I'll ask them, and I'll answer them. But it's that simple. They're really good at the skill positions. We knew that coming in. Didn't know exactly what they would do schematically, but the 2 receivers, they're NFL players. They're really talented, and they ran away from us today. We didn't help. They had 2 big plays on miscommunication. And that's with a veteran group that shouldn't happen, but it did. I thought that Rakim, excuse me, he broke a bunch of tackles, and then I thought as the game went on, they ran 80 snaps and we ran 62, and defensively we got tired. And depth's an issue over there for us. And I think I said that in preseason. They snapped the ball 18 more times, and they wore us down. We went there in the second half there where we throw a pick on the first play, and then we drop a punt, and we go 2 missed series opportunities. So up to 6 plays of opportunities. The game swung. We had field position the whole third quarter, and just for whatever reason didn't do much with it. But credit them. I can talk about a lot of things we didn't do well, but they came out in the first game and didn't lose it. They didn't lose it. They didn't turn it over. I thought the quarterback played really well. We didn't get as much pressure on him as we thought we would. I thought schematically they did some nice things to help him. They did some really good things in the run game. And so with that, I'll take questions.
So, Coach, in terms of the turnovers, the 2
Yep.
interceptions, obviously decisions, just execution,
Yeah.
what'd you see?
You know what? The first one was a really poor decision. The second one in the end zone, they 0 blitz and the kid fell off. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. I'm going to say probably over in their staff room. That's not what they teach. The kid got beat, but he fell off and made the play. He made the play. So that's a tough one because they 0 blitzed us and he kind of fell into it. The first one can't happen. And then the fumble was just as big. It's a 3rd and 1 play. And they hit it, and we cough it up. And because we were going to be short there, but we were going to run it on 4th down. You figure we were going to go two chances to get a yard, and then the punt, the drop punt was big. They're all big. They're all big, but the first interception was a really bad decision. You got to throw the ball away. Can't make a bad play worse. Second one, I don't know. It's kind of a freak play.
Letty overall for you? The fumble obviously was big.
Fumble, yeah, but here's the thing. We came in, we really didn't know what they were going to do front-wise, and credit to them, they mixed their fronts a lot. I thought their 4 eyes, we had difficulty with them. I thought, I'll have to go back. On the field, I just thought we lost some of our footwork. He's as good as he's going to break tackles, but we got to get him to the 2nd and 3rd level. And we didn't do a good enough job getting him to the 2nd and 3rd level. We had some things in the past game. We got him the ball. I think he had around 20 touches, which is kind of what you want. And he had probably 115, 120 yards of offense, but we didn't open up enough running lanes for him.
Can you take us through your red zone game plan for those last couple minutes?
Yeah, so you're talking about why I kicked the field goal? Yeah, well, you kick the field goal there because it's got 4th and 4, so you just keep the game alive. And I'm sure there'll be distractors on that, or detractors, however you say that word. But I mean, that's the sound football play. All right. I thought we got held on that 3rd down crossing route, but once it was 4th and 4, you got to kick the field goal. You keep it alive. The red zone wise, other than the interception, I think we could. The plays weren't bad down there. The part of the game that's fair to question is right there in that 3rd quarter where we had field position and we just weren't able to capitalize. Took some shot. We tried to throw some shot plays. We gave up pressure. We got in some bad down and distances.
They were able to get pressure on Jarrett, a couple of corner blitzes each side.
Yeah.
Force him out and Gordon horizontal. You feel like that kept him from getting in the rhythm? You had seen some in the fall.
Kevin, without watching it, I don't know. They called us one. They called us for, I thought they were calling holding, but I don't think they called it holding. I think they called it intentional grounding on the one. They got us on the corner. The other one, we should have handed the ball off. It was an RPO. They had a little bit of success with some edge pressure, not like some people did a year ago. I thought we could have moved up in the pocket a little bit better a couple times, but. Like I said, credit to them. They did a good job. They pushed the pocket. The last drive, I thought we did a really good job protecting him. And as bad as things went, I still felt really good if we get the ball back. I did. I thought we had, we protected better in that last drive than we did the whole game, and so, but we couldn't get them off the field.
So that defense, like I said, some issues in the 1st quarter, but after that it seemed to settle down a little bit, at least until late. What do you think of them overall?
Yeah, they've done a good job. They were like 5th in the country last year in pass defense. They're physical, played man coverage a lot, and I think they had one pass interference, so they must have called pretty clean, played pretty clean. I think 12 is a good player. We made some plays on him, but I think he's a good player. Cross came down and made tackles. He's the free player in the way they play it, and he made a lot of open field tackles. So credit to him. I thought the difference. I thought they were able to D-line wise, especially those 4 guys. 97 seemed like he played a really good game. I don't have the defensive stats, but I thought that was maybe the difference.
The Jared's plays that one good, one not good.
How are you talking about on the interceptions, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say it was good, but I understand. He thought he had 0. We had just hit the play, it's like 2 plays previously to that. He hit Sam on a similar route, so he went to the right spot. The first one was a poor play. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Let me clarify. One, nothing to do about one of them. One
Yeah.
you can do something different. Got off to a good start. Got settled, kind of came online a little bit there. Did he get rattled? Did he pull out of stuff? Did they make adjustments?
I don't know. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to say. I felt like that we probably should have done a better job stepping up in the pocket. It's probably a question when we on Tuesday, but they did get pressure. They did get pressure, and I think the pressure. I think it's fair to say it did affect him.
Thoughts on the play, your right tackles today?
The right tackles.
Yep.
We had a couple holding calls. I think we got to continue to get better. In Wyatt's defense, he's a true freshman. That's the hardest position to play. The offensive line's the hardest position to play, and we're asking a right, kid that's a true freshman to do it. But he's deserving of the chance. But there's going to be some highs and lows, right? And we tried to protect him best we could. But there's probably some good and some bad. If I was, there's some definitely the penalties hurt us. We didn't always use our good the footwork that's taught on some outside zone stuff that came back and haunted us as well.
Same thing at the corner with Porter and Matthews. Same kind of evaluation.
It will be. I thought Jackie did some good things. We played him inside. He's physical. He had an injury in camp that kind of limited him. Daryl, and the one that on DP that he gave up, he just had really bad eye discipline. And the route was fine. It was a good route, but he just didn't have his eyes. He had his eyes in the backfield, and you can't do that. And that's obviously why. And he got a free run.
Coach, it's the first time since you've been at West Virginia that you're starting off 0-1. You have done that. You did that when you were in Troy. Does that affect the mentality of the team moving forward?
Well, I mean, you'd like to win them. Obviously, I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I mean, you'd like to win them, so you don't really go into a big thought process as what if you do, if you lose. I think that you're going to have adversity at some point, and what I told the guys in the locker room is, hey, we've got adversity. How do we respond? We've got home game next week that we're going to be excited about, and I know our fan base is going to be disappointed on that, and I get that, and that's fair, and we'd like to play better. We'd like to play cleaner, all right? And that's fair. It's fair for them to be upset. It's fair for the criticism. But as a football team, we got to continue to get better, and we got to regroup. And we got 2 in a row at home, and at least we know where we're at right now. When you go into you come in out of a preseason, you've got gut feel of what you do well and what you're going to struggle with, or where your potential weaknesses are. But until you go out and play, and that's a talented team. That's a talented team, and they've got good players, and they had an advantage coming into the game. Schematically, having new coordinators in all 3 areas. But that's not an excuse. We still just didn't get it done. But we don't have a choice. We got to respond. We got 11-game season left, and we need to bounce back, and we still got a lot to play for.
Were you able to do stuff you wanted to do coming out of camp that you thought you'd be good at and wanted to see if you could
Well, I thought we'd be able to run the football better. Letty only having 77 yards. We didn't have turnover issues in camp. That's something that showed up. Concerned about punt return. It showed up once today. I thought, obviously, our kickoff return was really, really strong, and I felt good about that. But the turnover issue is something that I didn't anticipate, and felt like we'd be able to cover them up better in the run game than we did. And not having O'Laughlin hurt too. We had to play T.J. Banks. He fought, but he had to play every snap in the game at tight end, and we had to play more in some 10 personnel than we'd like to.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right.